Hi, Brooklyn. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hi, Molly. It's so good to meet you finally.
I know we've been talking a lot in DMs, and I feel like I already have a new friend. We were chatting a little bit before we pressed record, so lots in common already.
Yes,
I'm
I'm so excited. I've been waiting to talk with you, and it feels so crazy that I remember when I first started like watching your reels and stuff, and now like, oh my gosh, I get to talk to her face to face. It's so exciting.
Yes, and I know my audience is going to be really excited to hear your background and what you do with teaching. So could you tell us kind of your background and what led you to where you are now in your teaching career?
Sure. Yeah, so I'm a second year teacher, and currently I teach high school functional life skills. My first year I also taught that as well, but it was at a different school. And yeah, I that is my sweet spot. Both my parents are teachers. My husband's also going to be a teacher. So
Oh.
lots of educators in our family. And I didn't really know growing up, I didn't know what I wanted to teach, but my freshman year of high school, I got to help out with our Special Olympics team. I got to help coach. And from right then, like right in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, special ed. So yeah, I went into college pretty much knowing what I wanted to do. So I was able to graduate in 4 years, which is nice. And yeah, the high school life skills is the sweet spot for sure. I love my students.
I love hearing that too, because as a regular education classroom, I rely heavily on my SPED teacher at school. And I know it's just so nice when you can work hand in hand with someone and you feel like they know your students really well and you can just collaborate. So I'm sure that's been a big part of your job, I would imagine. Do you collaborate a lot with other teachers?
Yeah, and so really, so our the program I teach in is self-contained. So for the most part, our students are in my class all day, every day for every subject, but they do go out to different general education classes where they get to interact with gen ed peers, which is so great to see. So then is that's when I get the opportunity to chat with those gen ed teachers as well and kind of ask them how we can modify things or how to successfully incorporate their accommodations. And so that's just been really cool too, to just see that whole world of teaching. And because teaching has so many different little like umbrellas, and so it's just really so cool to collaborate with gen ed teachers as well, just to see how they kind of run their program or how they run their classes, and just to collaborate to help the students the best we can.
And I love that you're a high school teacher because a lot of times when people come to me and want to start their teachers pay teacher store, they feel like, well, it's not, it's all elementary teachers, that there's no high school teachers doing this. So what was it for you? Like thinking back, people love to hear a journey, right? They want to see like, okay, I'm in your shoes. Where was she back then? So what were you thinking? Like what was going through your mind when you started thinking about maybe I want to do teachers pay teachers?
Yeah, I love that question. So I mean, for me, I know again, second year teacher, there's still so much I'm learning. I
Mhm.
found myself creating a lot of resources for my students. I've honestly always loved kind of the digital media side of things, so I love it. However, it's very time consuming, and I would just find myself getting burnt out a lot. And I would think, man, there's got to be other teachers out there who are feeling like I do. So I would buy things on TPT from sellers that, had really good reviews. There are a couple sellers that I like follow that I love getting resources from. And, throughout, my teaching career, I'm just like, there's just different things where I'm like, oh man, I love that product. I wish it could be like this and tweak it a little bit more. And so then that's when I started creating them. But I didn't really know how or like where to create them or what they needed to include, and had no idea about the copyright, trademark, and, like I'm just brand spanking new to the business world. And so I think it's probably through the algorithm, like Instagram. I'm a huge Instagram person. That I found your reels and you would give so much information, like tidbits and tricks and free things. I was like, oh my gosh, like, is this too good to be true? Like, she's telling us a lot of great stuff. And so, yeah, I just slowly started to listen to your reels. Sometimes I'd go on your YouTube channel and listen to videos. And then I kind of realized, wow, this is a lot more in depth than just throwing something on TPT and selling it. But I saw how determined you were. I couldn't believe, I thought for sure you were not in the classroom anymore. I'm like, there's no way that she's in the classroom and
Yeah.
doing all this. But so kudos to you. I'm so inspired by you. And so yeah, I was like, okay, this course, this seems like the way to go. However, it's a huge investment, and there you were one of the many teachers who have said, hey, you have to spend money to make money. And I'm like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, like so scary. But I'm so thankful I was able to purchase the course with like my supportive family. They're awesome. And I was like, okay, here we go. And honestly, like it's been again, and I know we'll talk more about that later too, but it's been so great to just have like one spot where I can find almost everything I need to create a successful product, successful store. Um, and along the way too, like you have been so great because again, here we are face to face talking instead of just like an algorithm or a robot automated response. It's just like, oh no, Molly is actually like responding to me. This is so great, and she's got a blue check mark. So that feels so special. So I know I like went off on a tangent there, but I just had to share all of that because it kind of led up to like where we are now. And I was telling my husband like it's crazy. Like I just got your course in February, and already it's just been so awesome and helped me so much to just ground me on product creation. And when I give some other people too, like teachers ask me just different things like like just like, so how did you start your store? How'd you learn about it? Where do you find yourself? I'm like, Molly Wheatley, she's so great. So again, I'm so excited to be here. I never thought I'd be able to do this. So yeah,
Oh,
sorry, I
you're
know that
so
was like a
sweet.
ton, but
No, I loved it. I think your journey is so similar to other people's. And one thing that you said that I kind of didn't plan to touch on, but since you mentioned it, is you're very active, like digitally, like you're on Instagram, you know how to navigate YouTube, you know how to search things, but you said you wanted to find everything in one place. So knowing that now, like now that you're in the course, do you think it would have been possible without the course to figure out all the things that go into TPT? Or
I
would have
mean,
taken you
all
a lifetime, probably.
right. I was gonna say ultimately probably just because of the internet, but like, I mean, there's so many opinions, there's so many platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. I mean, and
Right.
then just Google, so there's so many authors out there, so many platforms. It's hard to just organize everything and to have the kind of consistent message. Because like for instance, I would look up a video about how to like market on Instagram with using reels. I'd watch one video, kind of get an idea, oh okay, I got it. And then I would start watching a different video about a TPT seller and how they market, completely different. I'm like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
so like, and it's like you had mentioned too, which I loved. And again, we watch so many reels and videos and read so many things. It's like, now where did I see that? But
Yeah.
you had said something along the lines of, I am not here to waste your precious time. I know teachers don't have enough time as it is. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, she means business. Okay, great. Because yeah, she gets it. Like, no, teachers are have their summers off. Not really, just trying
Mhm.
to rest, recover, and then get ready for the next school year. And so that alone, and then the fact that the course is self-paced, like that took so much off of my shoulders of like, oh my gosh, like I didn't feel like it was almost like I was taking like a college course, like, oh, I have to hop online at this time. I could just, if I was working out on the treadmill or something, I could just throw a video on. If I had a weekend where I was like, okay, I just want to work on TPT, great, I can throw on, Molly. Like it
Mhm.
wasn't, like it's just very fluid and flexible. So that's been huge too. Um, and again, just like the connections, meeting you, and then just different teachers you've had on your podcast. It's just been so great to like listen, and I've just learned so much. I just didn't realize going into this how much I would learn. I thought, oh, it can't be that, that hard. I could figure it out. No, it would have if I didn't have the course, it would take a considerable amount of time, and at that point, I feel like I would get burned out and just throw my hands up and be like, "Ugh, it's okay, whatever, I'm not gonna
Right.
mess with it because it's just too much." It's so and especially with AI and how there's the technology is just continuing to advance, like, more and more, and which is great, but more things we have to learn. And so just having that course, watching you interact too with different people that you've had on there, it's so cool. Um, just to take it all in and then learn from other teachers. And I just love the online teacher community. I
Me
love the teachers
too.
I work with. Yes, it's so
Yeah.
cool. Like
Yeah.
I love the teachers that I work with. Um, and sometimes though it's so cool, like online, just to be like, oh my gosh, they're in a different state or they're in a different time zone. Like, oh, I wonder how they teach over there. Like, just
Yeah.
it's just a little different. And so that's also been really cool through this whole thing is just to build that online teacher community. And it's been really cool.
Yeah, and I think, if you could YouTube or Google so many things, but it would take forever. And there's honestly going to be holes, I think, that you would
Yeah.
find that, like you're saying, like the copyright stuff and the how to zip a file or like how to make a product in two different versions. Those are the things that, like, once you become more legit in your business, that you need answers to. And I don't think you're going to find them out on the internet just hanging around. So to me, if
Hmm.
you're the want to do everything free and not spend any money to make any money, then you're going to keep your business a hobby. But if you take it to the
Hmm.
next level, it becomes a business, which is where I think you
Yeah.
are now. And you're doing it all self-paced, but you know that you have time, you have lifetime access, you don't have to rush to get anything done. So I appreciate you
Yeah.
saying all that because I feel like people need to hear that. You could just pop your earbuds in on the weekends and listen to one lesson, and you're still doing more than you
Yeah.
were if you were just sitting on your couch, right?
Yes, totally. And I think, again, I can't remember where I heard it. I know it was you, but I might have even been listening to it yesterday, the day before. And you said that you love, listening to, or maybe it was someone that did your course, I can't remember, sorry, forgive me, but, someone said they love listening to just throwing it on, even if, like, they're cooking or something, just to hear it, so that way, like, in the
Hmm.
summer when they're ready to plan and do things, they've already had that background, like, knowledge and like, "Oh, wait, I've heard this already. Oh, okay,
Right.
right, now," and then kind of flesh it out, and actually, when they have the time, they can just go right into it instead of first time they've heard it, now they're trying to, dive in all at the same time. It's nice to already, hey, you heard it once, it's in there in your mind somewhere, your brain, your subconscious somewhere, and then when you hear it for that second time, it's like, "Oh, okay, great," and then you can flesh it out, which is what I've been doing a little by little, with, like, for instance, your, product checklist. Love that.
Oh,
Um,
good.
in Google Sheets, yeah, that's been great to sometimes I'll go back on the products I already have and be like, "Oh, I'm missing that." Okay, 'cause I had posted products before I had your course, and so I was like, "Oh, yes, gotta go back, gotta go do this, this, and this." So and as a teacher, I'm sure in some ways we love being organized. And
Yes.
so that also just helps to be able to mentally and physically, like, check the box off that we did that. So that's also been a really big help.
Oh, good. Was there any hesitation or second thoughts that you had before? Because I know we DM'd and you just had questions about the course. And
Mhm.
like you said, I'm not a robot, so I'm going to answer you back. And it's going to be really me.
Yeah.
It's not even an assistant or anything like that. I'm the one on my Instagram. So did you have any hesitations though, or things that you kind of thought, "Ooh, I don't know, should I do this or not?"
Yeah, again, like I had mentioned a little bit ago, the price for sure, because obviously, if we're teachers, we don't do it for the money, we do it for the students. And
Right.
so, again, especially being a second year teacher, my husband and I just got married. So, life is expensive. It's very blessed and awesome, but it's expensive. So, the price definitely was, I would say, like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know, because it was a hobby. Like you said, I was kind of just doing it, just trying to, I loved TPT. I would buy things on there, never became a seller, until, it was like this, past winter, and again, just getting my feet wet, didn't really know, looking things up willy-nilly, um, not seeing any sales, and I don't know, I was talking a lot about it with my husband and my family, just, "What do you think?" I don't think it's a scam because there's scams out there too. I'm like, I don't know Molly. She's responding to me though. And I think really that what really kind of helped me, there's a couple things. One was, again, like I said, the fact that you responded. Like you almost had at that time, you have more now, but at that time you were like right under 10 grand of followers, but you have the blue check mark. I'm like, okay, so she seems legit. She's responding to me. I remember hopping on your live videos and you shouting out teacher Thompson. And I remember my husband was right
Aw.
there. I'm like, oh, look at, like, I screen recorded it. I loved it. I like saved it. I'm like, oh, she said my name. So I think like that right there just showed that, okay, she has a ton of people following her. She's super busy, but she still has time for me. So, like, that right there is something that I don't see a lot of with, TPT sellers because some sellers are just strictly sellers. They're not
Yeah,
coaches, so I can't blame them. If they're just there to sell, then there's no need to be a coach on the side, but you were both TPT seller and coach and teacher, so that really was a huge factor with purchasing your course because I just felt that, um, again, that you had time for people and that you really cared about trying to share everything that you could. Um, and then the other part was just, again, like I said, I can't say it enough, it's all in one spot. It's just creating products I'm sure you already know, Molly, but then that I'm learning is it's so time consuming, especially if you are putting everything into it that you want it to be and you want it to be as the best it can be. There's not a whole lot of time for distractions or, "Okay, I need this answer." Like, and
right.
searching, can't find it. I can always DM you, I can always ask in the Facebook group, which again, I apologize every time I DM you, that's not my go-to, but now it's getting to be more of my, "Oh, let me ask the Facebook group," and just having that, again, the teacher online community, not only for questions and support, but also for TPT things. And so I would say those two things right there are, hugely influenced my decision in committing and going all in. And I'm like, okay, if I do this, this is no longer a hobby. Like this is an investment. I'm not going to spend this, invest this amount of money and just make it a hobby. So, which has
Right.
been good though, because it's been kind of like that motivation, like, okay. And honestly, once that happened, again, it wasn't overnight. No, like overnight formulas of be rich quick. I've seen everywhere and Instagram, yes. But no, if you get the course, you take it seriously, and you are committed, you're gonna see sales because like I said, it's crazy. Like I'm so glad, like I remember when I was on the fence, I'm so glad I made that decision and I really think I would have been regretful and not I don't think I would have seen the sales that I am seeing now. And it's crazy because like in that moment when you could go either way and you choose to do it and then now you see like the fruit of it, you're just like, oh my gosh, like, and it's just the beginning. Like I in February was when I got the course and it's only April, almost May. So that's crazy that already it's been taken off. So yeah,
Yeah.
I hope that answers your question.
It does. And I would say that your results are pretty typical of someone starting out. It went from hobby to business, and then you've started to make some sales, which I'll go back and have you talk a little bit about. And I have never been the kind of business coach that's trying to teach people how to become a millionaire. If you do, great. But I'm more of like realistic and I don't want to ever deceive someone. Like you were saying, there's tons of people out there with scams on Instagram and you can't really trust people. So if you ever are looking at a course, like this is just a PSA for anybody, and you don't get a message back that feels like it's from the person offering the course, then that's a big red flag because you're just not going to get that connection. So I'm glad you mentioned that. It's just a safety measure I would have if I'm purchasing anything on Instagram.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
so you said you've made some sales. But before you had started the course, you said you hadn't made sales yet, right? Am I quoting you correctly?
Well, yes, so because I opened my TPT store back in like around Christmas break, didn't really do anything, just had it open like I was an official seller. I remember you saying in one of your reels like, hey, you need that first free product. So I put that free product out there. Someone had downloaded it, gave me a nice review, so that was great.
Yeah.
Um, but other than that, I didn't really I tried to follow as much free things as you had offered and try to figure out, I had posted maybe like, and again, they were only like holiday like gift tags for teachers to use for students. So nothing crazy. But I also, and I think you said you were unfamiliar with this platform, Boom Learning, the Boom cards.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're basically like digital flashcards. And what's great, what I love for special ed is you can either create or find boom cards that tailor towards your students' IEP goals.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
then it's great, yes. And so then when they practice those boom cards or that deck, it saves um, how much, their percentage, how much they got right, which ones they got right, which ones they got wrong, and also the date on which they did it. And then it's so great to look back and use that to see how they're working towards their IP goal. So
Yeah.
that's one of the main reasons why I love it. But I had I had forgotten that I put some boom cards out there on Boom Learning, which is separate from TPT, but you can still like sell them on TPT. Like it's a link that you would need to be able to access the boom cards. So you can kind of sell them on two different platforms. Apparently, I had sold a deck of boom cards back in January, but I kind of had forgotten that I put them on there, and because I was so focused on TPT, so that was like a surprise. Like, oh, okay, I made a sale on boom cards, so that's great. But yeah, the sales, I should say, the sales started being more consistent once I got the course. And I started following along with the course. Like they were just kind of hit or miss here and there, willy nilly. But then once I again started the course, started implementing the different things that you had mentioned in there, and really started honing in and being consistent with that, then the sales started to be a little bit more consistent, which is so exciting.
That is really exciting. And now you've got this good foundation laid, and you'll have more time over the summer to make more products and just, I'm assuming that you will have more time. Maybe you're teaching full time this summer. I don't know.
Well, it's funny you said that because I was going to, and that's another huge thing I've seen on your reels, about summer school and not just in summer school. Like it's
Nope.
great and
No shade at
it
it.
helps. Yep, not at all. Nope. And they always 99% of the time they're always looking for someone to apply to help out, and it's great. And like I said, life is expensive, but it was through after I got the course, because I believe, if my timeline's correct, I had applied for summer school, and then I purchased your course, reconsidered, and thought, okay, I really want this summer to just have a break from school and dive into so many different things in Molly's course and get products, product lines, product templates, all of that ready to go. I don't know if I can do summer school on top of that. And so
Yeah,
then
it's a
that's when I
lot.
I chatted. Yeah, it's so much. I chatted with the people I needed to, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, like take your summer. We get it. Don't all good." And so thankfully it was still way early in the game. I was able to do that and it was okay. But
Good.
yeah, so I was gonna do summer school, but I'm like, no, I'm going all in. I really need to get ready for this summer is my TPT summer to get
Yay.
things, yes, things rolling and ready. So like I just different things you say like for the school year then. So it's easier on yourself in the
Yeah.
school year to to post things, to market things when you have like systems in place. But trying to do that during the school year is a little crazy.
It's really
So
hard. You're right. You can
yeah,
map out the summer, you could map out your whole school year and figure out, what would sell better, what's going to align in your classroom. Oh, I can't
yeah,
wait to see your
yeah.
results from that.
Oh, thank you. I know. And then on my TPT store, again, and it was kind of my mom's idea. She loves TPT as well. She's not a seller. She's like,
Oh,
I cannot do this tech savvy thing, but she loves listening to your videos that I show her. She's like so excited that I had this interview today. So, and
oh,
one of her recommendations for my store was, hey, you should put like on the banner, you should put like something about that you're gonna have products in the summer of 2024, so people aren't like, oh, well, this store is nothing. And I was like, oh, that's a good
yeah.
idea. So in my store, I have like, hey, like content is coming in 2024. Just hang in there.
Yeah, I love
So
that. That's so cute about your
yeah,
mom. My dad's a retired teacher and he's always giving me TPT ideas too. So
awesome.
that's kind of
Did
that's
you go
fun.
to, yeah. Thank you. Did you go to London, I saw too on your Instagram? Was that your
Yeah.
dad?
Yeah, that was
Oh,
my
that's
dad.
so
Yep.
fun.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he had always wanted to go to the British Museum, and I was like, you know what? We're just going to do it over spring break and not worry about time or money or anything like that. Just go. So I'm glad that we did that.
That's awesome. Yeah, and didn't I think we had DM'd about this. Is your dad, did he teach math? Was he a math teacher
No, he actually taught
or no?
marketing and business management.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. But and what did was it high school? High
Yes, high
school
school.
teacher?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah, he was
okay.
actually one of
My
my teachers.
That's what it was. So
Yeah.
my dad also he did teach like an intro to business class and kind of like let's see, consumer ed, but
Yeah.
he was mainly a math teacher and I had him for a
Oh,
class as
oh,
well.
yeah.
So, yeah, so
We should talk about that more at some point because that's funny. Not many
we'll
people
have
have
to.
that experience, I don't think.
Right, for sure, for sure. It's unique,
Yes.
definitely.
So, Brooklyn, if anybody was on the fence about taking the course, what would you say to them?
Definitely, again, I kind of touched on this, but again, to highlight it, it's definitely an investment in yourself and in your business. Um, I, Not only Molly, but other people, teacherpreneurs, online teachers out there have said it can be scary, 100%. But truly, if you are looking to be consistent with sales and turn this from a hobby into an actual business, that investment is like the first bit, could be the first big step in your journey. It's worth it if you are committed, but you have to be, again, it's not that, oh, buy this course and here you go, $1 million, like, no,
Yeah.
buy this course and stick with it. You'll have a whole community. You'll have Molly. You'll have everyone who's on the Facebook group also. And again, however the algorithms work, people you'll have find people through there too. And if you are committed and you are willing to put in the hard work, I think it's going to be great. And again, I love that you, Molly, are so transparent with, hey, I'm just, I'm practical. I'm not gonna, here's a secret formula, here's a magic potion. Like, it's not about that. And, again, I think a lot of, including myself, at times want the success but don't want to put in the work,
Yeah.
and that's just not how, that's not reality, that's not, and some people can, there's some situations out there that happens, but for the majority, a successful business is really, grounded in hard work. And again, Molly has put in the hard work for this course, and
Yeah.
so the fact that she's willing to share all this with us is just, again, just goes to show that she's genuine, and it's not like, again, magic potion, here you go. Oh, it didn't work. Oh well, so it's just, it's very, again, and it's also flexible. So that's awesome. Like I said, it's when she explained that to me, I think we had DM'd a couple times, and Molly was saying that, like, you can start a little bit at a time, even during the school year, and it won't be too much. It's literally whatever you want. Like, and that flexibility for, especially for teachers, can be huge. Like, if they hear it's flexible, they're like, great, okay, now I'll do it. But if
Right.
it's like kind of, like a commitment, they might be overcommitted at that point and it's just too much. So yeah, that's what I would say. If you're gonna send it, but just be ready to work. And if you put in the work, I have, like I had mentioned too to Molly, in a different conversation, like, if you put in the work, I'm so excited. I have no doubt that I will have a successful store. I'm already seeing the sales. So I'm just like, again, this summer, I'm like, okay, how many days left? I want to get going on TPT
Yes.
stuff. So yeah, that's what
Yep.
I would say.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your perspective, and I'm sure everybody watching is like seeing themselves in your shoes. Where do you hang out the most? Where can they find you on social if they want to chat with you?
For sure. Yeah. So like I said, Instagram for sure is my main source or platform, I should say. I'm my username is Teacher Thompson, teacher dot Thompson with three letter N's at the end of Thompson. Um, and just to be clear,
Yeah.
and there's a
I'll
couple
link
other
it
teacher
for them.
Thompsons out there. Okay,
Yeah, I'll
great.
link it.
Well, perfect. And a little bit on YouTube. I don't have any videos on there yet, but I do have just like again, like I said, I made a certain like I had like a personal YouTube, but I like made a different like a teacher YouTube that hopefully in the future, again, down the line, be able to put like different product videos out there or just different things, teacher interactions that I have. But like I said, Instagram, and then you can also too in my bio on Instagram, I have my Gmail address if they ever wanted to email me with questions or anything that way. But yeah, Instagram is my main, and Pinterest. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say Pinterest. Yes, thanks to you, Molly. I've also have
Good.
my Pinterest going. Yes, slowly but surely. I've always had Pinterest, but I've never used it for marketing.
Yeah.
So again, a whole nother awesome part of her course is learning Pinterest and how to use that for marketing. But so to recap, Instagram for sure, Pinterest, and then the third one would be my Gmail.
Great. I'll link all that below for them. And this has been so much fun. Thank you so much, Brooklyn.
Yes, thank you again, Molly. It was an honor to chat with you, and I'm so excited to have our relationship continue to grow.